Hey, it's Olga here from olgadegtyaryeva.com and Productivity for Scientists. And today the topic of the video is I almost didn't do it. In this video, I would like to share with you a personal story and also a quote that I want to hear from you. Do you agree with this? So post in the comment below. And the quote is, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing it imperfectly. Okay. And also on the internet, you can see this quote in a different wording. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing it badly. So let me know what do you think about this quote. And I also want you to start thinking when you wanted to do something, like you had an idea, but you saw that the things are not aligned yet for you to act on this idea. You don't know enough, or maybe you're not ready yet, and that idea never been implemented. Or maybe you've started doing something, maybe it's writing a paper or writing a grant or developing completely new project. And then at some point you felt like, well, you can't do it perfectly. You can't do it exactly how you envisioned it. And therefore you kind of lost a little bit of a motivation, and the progress slowed down and it ended up in the drawer of your desk. Okay. So, this, talking about this, thinking about this back, we might start understanding that, if you could have just allowed yourself to do it imperfectly, you would have acted on that idea, or you would have, published that paper or submitted that paper, even if imperfectly. And there are many, many examples, and this is something I coach and I teach my clients, scientists, is that allowing yourself to do it imperfectly. If you have an idea, act on this imperfectly, knowing that you will learn what you need as you move along. Or if you've been doing something and you can't quite do it the way you imagined, but really no one really knows how you imagined it in a way, if you haven't shared it with many people, you could still adjust and do it imperfectly, and it will be worth doing. Okay. So my personal story about I almost didn't do it is along the same lines. It's just to really show you how I had an idea, I wanted to do it, and I almost didn't do it because I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to do it perfectly. I wouldn't be able to do it nicely. It will be really imperfect. And what it is starting my blog and doing the coaching, doing my business. Okay. And many of you who will be listening to this video, you already benefited from my coaching. Maybe you worked with me perfectly, or maybe you benefited from my blogs or free lectures. And I received so many emails from you saying how it helped you, how it lifted you from very low states, sometimes from a depression, how it turned your life 180 degrees around, and how it helped you to complete your PhD and move on, or for a postdoc wrote how it's really helped her to see again, to be excited again about her research, and also to move on with her life. So all those things that I received, like a feedback of how it was influential and helpful, and I almost didn't do it. Okay, so because I started my blog back in 2010 when I had two small children. It was 1 and 3 year old. Okay, and I was juggling my research and children, and I was learning all these incredible strategies because I was into self-help and stuff. So I wanted to start the blog. So I started the blog, and soon after I was compelled to start the coaching. And of course, I didn't do it perfectly. I mean, no way I could do it perfectly with two small children. I was a part-time research scientist. Okay. And then 3 years later, I was transition. So I was doing their business full time, but I got another baby. So we're on with a little baby, with a full practice. Some of you, actually, I received an email recently that she said, sorry, I didn't understand what was you going through. Because this person just got a baby. Now she couldn't understand, but back then some of my clients or some of my followers maybe didn't understand, why is she doing it so imperfectly? But I was dedicated to do it imperfectly anyway, because I felt that it will be changing people's lives and helping them so much that I was willing to do them perfectly, sometimes very imperfectly. Sometimes I needed to cancel a call, not very often. Sometimes my clients could hear my children or my baby in the background. Sometimes whatever I sent out was not very perfect, not very polished, but I still kept going. So I wanted to share with you that story, that I almost didn't do it, and yet I allowed myself doing this imperfectly, and it was worth doing. So for you, for today, this is your Productivity for Scientists assignment today, is to think about the idea that you left and you didn't act upon because you were afraid you couldn't do it perfectly. Or if you were doing something and you left it halfway through again thinking, well, I can't do it perfectly. So remember, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing it badly. Okay, so post a comment below saying if you agree with this quote or not and what you got inspired to act upon. All right, hope it serves you. This is all for today, and if you're not yet receiving this video strategies into your email, go to my website, olgadiktareva.com, and if you're already there, go to the top, download your free resources, and you will also receive these videos straight into your email inbox. This is all for today. Bye.